Hello, my name is Brian Daly, and I'm one of the counselors in the 10th grade Home Office K25. And we're trying something a little bit new this year. One of the goals of our home office is to keep the lines of communication with parents open. And instead of inviting you in at a specific night, at a specific time, and presenting in kind of a traditional format in the auditorium, we wanted to share the information, but allow you to access it at your convenience. So hopefully you enjoy this format. This is actually a presentation that we shared with the 9th graders at Pembroke and Penndale last spring. Unfortunately, the day that we were scheduled to go to Penfield was the day that a fire occurred and our building was evacuated. In talking with the other 10th grade counselors, Mrs. McGurriman and Mrs. McCreary, the information in this presentation is information that we found ourselves sharing oftentimes reactively, maybe when students were not meeting with success here at the high school, or when the train had kind of come off the tracks. So this is information that Mrs. McGurriman, Mrs. McCreary, and myself, based on our experiences here at the high school, feel that students and parents need to know in order to be successful at North Penn High School. The transition from middle school to high school is an exciting time. It's a new building, new teachers, new opportunities. And for many young people, it's a chance to reinvent themselves and hopefully try new things. And the home office is here to offer support and to help make this as positive an experience as possible. We encourage students to make every day count. When we went to the middle schools last spring, we asked by show of hands how many students were planning to go on to some form of schooling or a college after high school. And at least 99% of the hands went up. So we have 3 years together. That's 182 days a year for a total of 546 days together. We want to help our students make the most of that opportunity and to make sure that they're aligning themselves with college entrance requirements. This slide highlights some strategies for experiencing academic success here at the high school. You can read through them on your own, but there are a few that I want to highlight. Number 3, helping your child find their organizational style. The high school is a fast-paced environment, and there's lots of things happening every day. Helping your child stay organized is critical. One of the big things we really want to emphasize during the first marking period is simply knowing what is for homework. And we encourage all of our students to either maintain an agenda or to record homework and assignments in their personal cell phone. With the teacher's permission, maybe even taking a picture of the homework assignment in the classroom. Jumping to number 5, doing your homework. This may seem obvious, but as we monitor grades in the Home Access Center, a 0 out of 10 points, or a 0 out of 15, or a 0 out of 20 can quickly snowball and students find themselves behind. So we certainly challenge students to see no zeros in Home Access Center. Number 7 deals with managing your time wisely. This goes for all students, but especially those involved in sports, activities, part-time jobs, etc. As a general rule of thumb, I encourage students to spend approximately 10 minutes per grade level per night on homework and school-related activities. So a 6th grader would be spending 60 minutes on homework. So the expectation is that 10th graders are spending approximately an hour and 40 minutes on homework and school-related activities. Especially for those involved in sports or activities or jobs after school, this is most likely not going to happen all at one time. It could be 20 minutes after school, it could be 20 more minutes before dinner, and then an hour at some other points throughout the evening, totaling that hour and 40 minutes. And number 10, we certainly encourage our students to get involved. Again, think about how it relates to college. Colleges have expressed that they're looking for well-rounded students who are going to get involved on and around their campus. Being such a large high school, North Penn High School offers a variety of extracurricular opportunities, from sports to clubs to television, music, theater, and more. We encourage students to find and get involved in at least one. Extracurricular involvement can also take place in the community. We have students involved in volunteer work, part-time jobs, scouting endeavors, through their churches and synagogues, and various recreation sports. An activities fair was hosted during lunch periods on Tuesday. If your child missed it, or perhaps did not have lunch on Tuesday, I would encourage them to go to room F26 and see Mr. Berger, who's the activities director, or to stop in their home office and see their counselor so we can help put them in touch with an advisor. At this point, I'm going to turn things over to Mrs. McGurman, who's going to highlight some things related to academics.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. The next two slides go together. If you could move forward to the next slide, and we'll talk about a transcript and the importance of the transcript. As you can see, the transcript, this is a transcript for a 12th grader. Each block represents a different grade, starting with the 9th grade in the upper left-hand corner. As your child completes the grade, the final grades will appear, and this is what you see on this transcript. Only the final grades that the child ends up with at the end of the year. With these final grades, a rank and GPA is determined, and you can see the rank and GPA listed at the very bottom of this particular transcript. Please look in the program of studies on page 7 for an explanation of the calculation. Your transcript will be sent out to colleges when you start to apply in your senior year. As we move on to the next slide, listed are additional supports that are available throughout the week at the high school. I'd like to highlight a few. The first one is there is math and writing support available during all lunch periods in room D18. Secondly, ADAPT is a peer tutoring workshop that is available in room C117 every Tuesday from 2:25 to 4 p.m. and during all 9th periods. Take a look at the link on the PowerPoint for further information. And third is the 9th period, which meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1:33 to 2:12. And 9th period is a great way to meet with a teacher during the school day to get extra help. The student just needs to remember to get a pass from their teacher prior to 9th period. We encourage the students to seek out when they need them and not when they're in a crisis situation. Listed is our contact information. Please do not hesitate to call us as we look forward to working with your children. Mrs. McGurman works with students with the last names beginning with the letters A through G, Mrs. McCreary with last names starting H through O, and finally, Mr. Daly with last names P through Z. As we shared with most of the students last spring during our visits at the middle school, the key to your child's success here at the high school is to take ownership of their future, and their effort and their commitment equals their success. And we are here to help them along the way through their North Penn career. Go Knights!